Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning, and hope you're having a great start to your week as we'll give you a few studies this morning that might interest you. Kim, good morning. Rosalinda and Nativity. Raja, good morning to you. Rosa. And Brenda, let's see if it's another A coming up at the end. Linda, here we go. You guys are great. Okay, now we break it. Judy and Kevin, good morning. Beth, how are you this morning? Bruno, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. Donna and Elizabeth Betta. Elizabetta, nice. Hi, Wendy. Good morning to you. And Nellie, dear friends. And Nick from our staff. Colleen, Jeanette from our staff. Mary Jane, good morning from Connecticut. Milika, good morning to you. And our friend Dr. Troy. Troy, I just realized I didn't answer one of your emails. Yes, you can have Dr. Martin's Perfect Smoothie on the reset. I meant to send you that last week. Good morning, Sharon and Natalie and Lori from Niagara Falls. Sandra, good morning. I know I missed so many. Pat from North Bay and IT, good morning to you. Mame and Janice. Coast to coast, guys. We appreciate Washington State. Early in the morning, Evelyn, Joy, Claudette, and Rhonda. Don't be shy, guys. Say hello to us, and I will, the ones that I miss, Mary Jane and Catherine, and Deb, our dear friend from Timmins, Marlene and Kathy, and Roxanne. Good morning, Roxanne. How are you? Susan and Diane. Okay, let me get started. Otherwise, I'll never start. Leela, good morning, and Claudie. Okay, and I'll come on and say hi to the rest of you. Let me read to you this study. Okay, but I guys, I got to do it because this study came out of Japan, and listen to this. The Japan Society for Lipid Nutrition has drawn up new guidelines stating that the higher your cholesterol is, the better you feel, and two, the longer you live. The Japanese are getting it way before we are. The higher your cholesterol is, the longer and healthier you live. Now, you've heard that before. If you've been listening to me, I have the can't help it's when it comes to cholesterol. Now, let me read another study. Sort of dovetails with this one. Brain cholesterol regulates Alzheimer's. At the end of the day, I'm quoting them, low cholesterol equals more Alzheimer's. So the Japanese have said, the higher your cholesterol is, the longer you live and the better you feel. And that Alzheimer's, there's a direct correlation between the amount of cholesterol you have. Low cholesterol equals higher rates of Alzheimer's. Now, you guys know me. I've been consistent about cholesterol. And I've called it the biggest, is it the biggest scam in medical history? Probably. Was it orchestrated? I don't know about that. But it is the biggest scam in what I can think of in medical history. The science was never right. It was manipulated to the point that, and think about this, guys, for a minute. The whole world went for it. The whole world. Very few stood up to it. You know, I talked to a cardiologist friend of mine, and he said that if he doesn't give out statin drugs, which is to lower your cholesterol, they could lose their license, their medical license. If they've had any kind of cardiac, I said, even if their cholesterol is normal, we must give them a cocktail of medications, including statin drugs. And here are the Japanese saying, we were wrong, even in Japan. We were wrong. Cholesterol, the lower you keep it, the worse it is for you. I mean, that's really it in a nutshell, isn't it? I was, I don't want to say arguing, because I really wasn't arguing, but I was going back and forth last week with a doctor talking about using statin drugs as a benefit to, I couldn't get over it, like a benefit to diabetes. Oh, you got diabetes? Well, maybe you should use a statin drug. And I said, well, let me read to you a study that I don't think I talked about yet. Statins, which decrease your cholesterol, they work, guys. Statins work, you know. They will decrease your LDL, okay? They will decrease your LDL. So it's not like they don't work. They work. They're decreasing LDL. But so what? Why do you want to decrease your LDL? It does nothing. Statin drugs do nothing for the problem of heart disease. Statin drugs do nothing to lower your triglycerides. Statin drugs do nothing to increase your HDL, your FedEx trucks on the highways of your blood vessels. They do nothing for that. That's why they have been an abysmal failure. Heart disease is higher than it ever was. They missed the whole point. They want you to, take these statin drugs, Lipitor, Zocor, Crestor, and And, cut your eggs down and certainly don't have any of that fat and bacon and, keep red meat to a minimum. I mean, they know nothing about nutrition. It's amazing to me. The Japanese are finally getting it. They're saying, man, we've been duped. We've been duped. You need cholesterol. You want to get Alzheimer's? Well, lower your cholesterol. Increase your cholesterol. Every cell in your body needs cholesterol. Your body makes cholesterol. You want it to make cholesterol. There's no bad cholesterol. Really, there's no bad one. You need HDL to be high, and LDL, I don't even look at. They made it up, guys. And that angers me. They made it up. I was looking at the side effects. Again, just another study came out to confirm the side effects at Vanderbilt University. And Vanderbilt said it triples your chance of getting diabetes. If you're on statin drugs, you're tripling. And like I said, there was this doctor said every diabetic, he said, online he was saying this, every diabetic in his opinion should be taking statin drugs. Well, I private messaged him. I said, did you not read the study on Vanderbilt, by Vanderbilt, that talks about it's tripling your risk of diabetes? It will give you diabetes. Why would you give a diabetic a statin drug? I know that was standard procedure. Well, his thinking is, if you're a diabetic, you are a much more risk to heart disease. Yes, that's true. 100%. If you're a diabetic, you're at 100% more risk for heart disease and blindness and kidney problems and circulation problems. 100%. Even cancer. We've talked about that in the past. The diabetics are much more at risk for cancer. But if you unpack it and go backwards with diabetes, you understand why. Blood glucose and insulin are at the root of heart disease, of cancer, and Alzheimer's. Why would you want to lower your cholesterol? You're shooting at the wrong target. You want to lower your insulin. Statin drugs don't lower your insulin. They lower your cholesterol. They hit the wrong target. And today, millions and millions and millions of North Americans are still on statin drugs. Now, I can't tell you to come off statin drugs. I can't do it. I'm not your doctor. But don't be duped. Don't be duped. Cholesterol ain't your problem. It's not anybody's problem. Well, it's your problem if your cholesterol is too low. You need HDL. When you send me, look, I don't mind looking at your blood work, but don't go into the weeds, okay? You got 10 pages that you want me to look at, and I scan that so fast, it will make your head spin. I'm not your family doctor, so I don't mind pontificating on your blood work. I don't. But I just got to tell you, I am very, very focused. I don't look at 100 things. I look at a few things in blood work. It's the way I'm built. I'm very interested in your lipid profile. I'm looking for triglycerides. They need to be low. I'm looking for HDL. It needs to be high. You want to show me your total cholesterol? I won't look at it. You want to show me your LDL? I won't look at it. I won't give you a comment on it. I'm sorry. You can't make me. And guys, I know you know, but I just want to teach you. I will not comment on total cholesterol. I won't. It doesn't matter. If it doesn't matter, why do you want me to make it matter? I can't. And I won't. That doesn't mean I don't love you. Of course I do. But I am looking at your triglycerides, 3 fat balls that make you sick. 3 fat balls that will clog up your arteries. 3 fat balls that will clot to give you a stroke. If it gets up into your brain or around your heart, you need FedEx trucks, and I call them that. You know, some people, they'd rather me talk about Canada Post or US Post trucks. I don't care. They're just, all they are. What HDL is, and what's really important for you to always remember, and I know you, a lot of you know this, but I don't mind repeating it. I repeat to myself. And the world science is finally catching up. Will we be able to change thinking, the world in general? Probably not. I'm not optimistic about that. I'm not. Most people, if their doctor says it, they don't even question it. What I love about you guys is you question. You want to know. Why? If I'm taking a medication, why am I taking it? Well, you got high cholesterol. I thought that was good for me, doc. And he or she will look at you like you have 2 heads. They've been trained from the womb to the tomb in medical school to push statin drugs. They're trained because they see cholesterol as the boogeyman. Cholesterol is the bad guy. You just don't want to have elevated cholesterol because they always equate it with that's what's clogging up your arteries. Well, that's not what's clogging up your arteries. What's clogging up your arteries are triglycerides. Get those down. And you get them down by elevating your cholesterol. You can't live without cholesterol. 85% of it comes out of your liver. And you're only responsible for 15%. You better do it. And cholesterol, by the way, you know this, but I'm going to repeat it. Cholesterol that you eat is only found in the animal kingdom. It's not in the plant kingdom. Cholesterol is not found in plants. You were never, ever meant to live on plants. Cholesterol is found in eggs, meat, and cheese. That's where you find cholesterol. You need it. Better eat your 15%, guys, because you're not going to make enough HDL. Okay? I mean, guys, they throw the words, let's follow the science. They throw that around. And that is meant, by the way, when the media say it and when politicians say it, and, even when doctors say it, you know what that's meant to do, guys? When they say follow the science, that means they want you to shut up and just accept it because we're following the science. Guys, science, first of all, is never fully settled. It's observation and repetition. That's science. And I've said this to you many a time. Listen, I thought I was pretty smart in the 70s. Okay? Coming out of school, smart aleck, studied for a long time and then, figured, I got it all, the tiger by the tail. Nah, you know what? I never stopped studying. I never do. I read more articles. Last week, I think I put about 10 hours of reading, extracurricular type of thing, studying. I'm always fascinated. I'm always learning. Don't stop learning, guys. Don't stop learning. You want to question me? Question me. When it comes to cholesterol, I know I'm right about that. I just know it because it's true. There's some things that are 2 + 2 = 4, and your body can't live without cholesterol. I've been screaming that like John the Baptist for years and years, 40 years, more than that. I watched the food industry go after bacon and eggs. Instead of going after toast, I watched the food industry go after bacon and eggs and tell you to eat their crappy, sugary cereals. I watched it. I was always against it. I said, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to limit your eggs? Somebody asked me last week, Doc, how many eggs can I eat when I'm on the reset? 500. I don't care. It's not the amount. It's what you're eating. And you'll find if you have bacon and eggs in the morning or sausage and eggs or steak and eggs. Remember the old steak and eggs? You don't see that as much anymore, but that used to be, steak and eggs. It's a good thing. It's good for you. It's good for your heart. It's good for your brain. Study after study is showing it ain't cholesterol. It just ain't, guys. It's just not. And statin drugs can't be true. They can't. They're never going to save a person's life because they're not doing what they need to do. As a matter of fact, they are hurting because they hammer down cholesterol, the LDL. And, like I was telling you about the study out of Vanderbilt that makes people that use statin drugs 3 times more likely to become a diabetic. My word. We already got enough diabetics in the world. And you know what I say? 90% it's 88% of the population in North America They really are diabetic, but they just don't know it. About 50% of that 88% have a diagnosis. Oh, you're a diabetic or pre. But when you have metabolic syndrome, which 88% of the population have, 88%, that means there's only 12% of the population that is really metabolically healthy. Now, what's that mean? Again, when you have metabolic syndrome, here are the characteristics. Here are the signs. One, you have low HDL. Your cholesterol's too low. Your good one, the real good one. There's good, bad, and ugly. The ugly are triglycerides. The very good are HDL. You need HDL to be high. The Japanese study is saying it. The study after study, if they would be honest, they will say it. In my opinion, there is never a need for a statin drug. So metabolic syndrome is characterized by, one, having low HDL, two, having high, what? You guys should know this, triglycerides, the 3 fat balls. Okay? That's key. Those two things. 3, elevated blood glucose. Now, I didn't say diabetic levels. I said elevated. As a matter of fact, and you can go back and listen to this on A1C. A1C is an average, a 3-month average of your blood sugars that they know by testing your red blood cells. It's called glycated hemoglobin. Okay? So they just know because sugar attaches to the hemoglobin and then you can't get rid of it. And when you take that average, changes are occurring when you have even slightly elevated A1C. That's blood glucose. That's sugar. If it's slightly elevated, you are started with metabolic syndrome. You better take care of yourself. High blood pressure. High blood pressure is another sign that you are metabolically unwell. Belly fat. I'm going to do something on visceral fat this week because there's a new study out that I found to be very interesting. I think you will appreciate it. But if you got any belly fat, you got a sign of metabolic syndrome. Go to your local mall. Are they open again? No, but seriously, go anywhere in society. Go to the beach. Go to the mall. Go where people go, okay? And just watch people today. Just watch people. Just observe. Use your eyeballs. You're going to see that something dramatic happened to the human race. We gotten bigger. I've always said if I left the planet in the late 1960s and the early 70s and I went to live with Elon Musk on, where's he trying to go to live now? Is it Mars? Okay. Let's say you pretend you were able to leave the planet. We got on a spaceship and we come back to planet Earth. Okay. You left in, let's say 1971, 72 or somewhere around there. Okay. And we happen to come back. You know what? All of us would be shocked by the size of people. And I don't mean tall. I mean wide. If we would just use our eyeballs you get a big revelation by using your eyeballs. People are just bigger. There's so much obesity. And, it's almost like we're swallowing balloons or something. And we're puffed up. True or false? What is that? That's metabolic syndrome. It's metabolic syndrome. It's food. It's not complicated. It's food. I always tell people, I rest my case when I said people have gotten away from eating animal products and they became carboholics. That's what happened to our society. In general, that's it in a nutshell. And all of that, what that food does is elevate insulin. And insulin does all the other things that I talked about. Triglycerides, HDL, inflammation. It's at the root of heart disease. It's at the root of cancer. It's at the root of Alzheimer's. It's at the root, and diabetes is out of control. It's unbelievable. It's exactly where we're at in society today. So the Japanese are figuring it out. Will they implement the changes? I mean, they don't got the problems that we have comparatively, but will this stick? The fact that you want to have high cholesterol, will it stick? I don't know. There's going to be a lot of pushback on this. There's a lot at stake. 4 major side effects. And this is what I was telling people, this physician friend of mine. I said, listen, the side effects, when you look at the benefits of a statin drug, compared to the risk, we called it rhombolithiasis, which is a big word for muscle damage. This is why when you see a commercial in the United States, okay, you won't see it in Canada because there are no real commercials for medications here. But in the United States, they have a commercial for if you're on statin drugs, you need to take CoQ10. Okay? Have you ever seen a commercial like that for CoQ10? Yeah, but that's why because when you take a statin drug, it destroys your CoQ10. What does CoQ10 do? It's involved in not only energy, because CoQ10 is essential for your mitochondria. Especially your muscle mitochondria. What are mitochondria? Your battery packs. So it damages your CoQ10. It destroys your CoQ10. Therefore, it's destroying your muscles, mitochondria, the batteries in your muscles. It's one of the major symptoms. I had patients over the years, hundreds of them. I said, lift up your arms. Pain. I can hardly lift up my arms, doc. Sore. I said, well, that's a side effect of a statin drug. It's well established. Like, you don't need Advil. You need to fix the nerve damage. Neuropathy. 4 times more likely to get nerve damage, neuropathy. Depression. It affects your mood. Very common. Impaired brain function. As a matter of fact, there ought to be a warning. There ought to be a warning that take this, it will lower your cholesterol, but it's going to give you brain damage. You know, I remember there was a commercial in the States about statin drugs, and the fireman, okay, it was a fireman, it was a commercial, and he's coming down the fire pole screaming, I lowered my cholesterol. And then he goes around the fire station and giving everybody a high five. And you know what I was saying in my mind? You elevated your risk of Alzheimer's. You lowered your cholesterol, but you elevated your risk of Alzheimer's. I was screaming that. You don't want to sit beside me when I'm watching TV because I'm a running commentary. Anyway. Anyway. Okay. Guys, we're going to have a great week. So make sure you tune in every day, Lord willing, 8:30 for our live Facebook. And if your friends can't get on live with us, just remind them they can download these podcasts. The Doctor is in podcast on their smartphones. They can get it automatically sent. Don't ask me how to do that, but you can. I know. I don't know how to do it, but someone did it for me. Okay. And people were asking me about the Reset book. It's coming. Third print. And again, we thank you for that. The best thing that you can do to teach people is to get them to listen to the podcast. Try and get them to listen on Facebook with us, and get them a book. Get them a book. The Reset. We'll be stocked up soon again. Okay? Okay, guys, we love you, and we'll talk to you soon.